Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. I have to tell you, God works in really mysterious ways. We were going to do a Gettysburg restoring event. It was called Restoring the Covenant. And then what happened? COVID. And we were deep financially into it and everything else, and that went away quickly. And I have felt that a covenant needed to be made for years. We are a covenant people, and a covenant with God is really important. If you make a covenant with God and you break it, all of those blessings go away. All of those protections go away. Everything goes away. And we have broken our covenant made by many times in our country's history by our leaders. We have to make it again, and we have to beg for forgiveness. That we get it. We know what we've done. So I wanted to do that a few years ago. I get a video from a woman named Donica Hudson, and she said, I'm listening to you. I don't even remember what show it was. I'm listening to you, and you have to be at this event. So I checked into it, and I'm going to be at this event next Wednesday. And Donica is on with me now. Hello, Donica. How are you?
I'm great. It's so good to be with you, Glenn.
Thank you. So tell me what this event is.
This event is called the First Landing 1607 Declaration of Covenant. And we are so glad and thankful that you'll be there as our keynote speaker for the gala dinner, because you do understand covenant.
Yeah, God will not be mocked. That's the most important thing of a covenant. God will not be mocked. Don't get into a covenant lightly with him, because he'll keep his promise. All right, so the First Landing, 1607, we're talking Jamestown, right?
That's correct. Actually, the first landing was at Cape Henry.
Okay.
And then the colonists moved. It took 2 weeks, and they went down the river and established Jamestown. So a lot of people don't know, it's not in many of the history books, surprise, surprise, that when the colonists landed on April the 29th of 1607, they planted a huge wooden cross in the sand. They knelt, they took communion, and they dedicated themselves and this land to God, this land meaning the entire continent. And not only did they do that, Glenn, they prayed that America would be evangelist to the world, and that generations to come after them would return and look at that cross and join them in this covenant. And that's exactly what we're doing.
So where is this happening?
This is happening at Virginia Beach, Virginia, at the Delta Marriott. It's actually near the First Landing Cross that's on a military base. And we're bringing a big wooden cross to the sand there so that people can literally do what the covenant calls us to do. Look at that cross and remember what the founders of America did when they dedicated this nation to God.
So the covenant I've read, and are you going to actually speak the covenant? Or are you asking people just to do it on their own?
Well, if you go to our website, you'll see that I have written a declaration of covenant. Mm-hmm. And in that, we in unison re-covenant with the founding colonists' original words. And I actually had that prayer in my book, Pray America Great. And that's how I got connected to help co-found this event with the visionary, Reverend Jack Stagman. So what we're doing is acknowledging that we are a Christian nation, that the colonists did, in fact, do exactly what I just outlined, and that we intend to continue to join the colonists in this covenant. Because if we don't, it's like you said in your incredible email to me, Glenn, that I read over and over again because it was so powerful, that this is the only way that we save America.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
Okay, so is there a recognition? Because I read maybe another something else posted on the website. I don't remember what it was, but it was really a prayer of recognition of, wow, we've screwed things up. Please forgive us.
Exactly. And if you go to firstlanding1607.com, you can click on the Declaration of Covenant. It's actually a downloadable PDF so that you can actually agree with us. We're going to be live streaming it around the world in 72 languages, real time, thanks to Cloud Hub. And we are going to allow people around the world to agree with us with this covenant. So go ahead and register online to do that. But yes, we do acknowledge most of the things that you broadcast and are awakening the Republic to realize is why we're in this situation, that we need to remarry America to God.
Mm-hmm. You know, we if I would have said this 10 years ago, or certainly in 1963, I would have been called a madman. But we have not just removed God. We have replaced God in our schools with drag queens.
Yes,
that's how insane it is. And until we humble ourselves, recognize our role in this, and then beg for his forgiveness and renew a covenant, I don't think we save America. Donica, I can't wait to meet you. I'm just so impressed by your initiative and what you've put together, and I'm just thrilled that I can be there.
Well, thank you, and I cannot take the sole credit for that. We have a founding team of 5 that are working diligently together. I was asked to write the Declaration of Covenant. That's my strong suit. We've actually just found out we're trying to get an annual day of a First Landing annual day established so that the nation knows that we are a Christian nation, and that this can be a building of recognition of covenant throughout the land. We want to get it back into the schools. And I agree with you. Let's go there with the drag queens replacing God in the schools, and how we outlawed school prayer. Most people don't realize everything that we're doing is in the Bible. Everything that is happening as an attack to us with drag queens in schools is a movement of the Antichrist spirit through the global elite to strip us of our identity. So when we actually recovenant, we are recognizing our true identity in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who established covenant in this earth. Our God made covenant with night and day. Everything that we see is by covenant. How can we deny and leave him? We have left our first love in America. And this is an opportunity to save America by recovenanting with him, recognizing our identity in the God who created us and loves us. And I know there are people out there listening, Glenn. They are hurting. They are bewildered. They don't understand what's happening to our country. They're going, where is God? And he is right here. He is right here. We may have left him, but he has not left us. That's the nature of covenant. We have an opportunity to return to the God who created us before he issues us a certificate of divorce, like he did in Jeremiah 3:8 with Israel. We have a window of time. And I think, like you said on your incredible broadcast recently, I think it was the Tucker Carlson broadcast, that we are no longer a superpower. We are headed to be, by 2025, a police state. I believe this is our window of time that you have so aptly outlined, that if we, the people who are in covenant with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob by the blood covenant of Jesus Christ, return to our first love and recovenant with God, that we will usher in a force of covenant and history that saves America.
Donica, I can't thank you enough. Listen, I want you to go to firstlanding1607.com. That's firstlanding1607.com. If you can join us in Virginia Beach, great. If you can't, join it online. Get your church involved. This covenant needs to be made everywhere in America. We must restore our covenants with God and beg his forgiveness. It really is, I believe, the only way back. We are not fighting politicians. We're not fighting parties. We're fighting evil. And it's time to recognize that and call in the big guns. Only the Lord can take care of this at this point. But it requires work on our side, and that work is to live as a covenant people. Donica, thank you so much. I'll see you next Wednesday.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Donica Hudson, Pray America, great author, First Landing 1607 Project co-founder. Again, you can find out more about this at firstlanding1607.com. If you're in that area, I would love to see you next Wednesday in Virginia Beach.